banks of the Deschutes today, and I figured I would go ahead and do a once-over. There's been a change with some of my gear that I've got. I bought a new-to-me raft. I'm went from a 15-footer down to a 12-footer. That way I don't need a trailer. I can just put it up on the rack of the truck, and there's a lot of advantages to it. There's disadvantages to it, but I figured I'd give you a little once-over of what I got going on here. So 2 rod holders out back, made by NRS. They clip on to raft frame. You know, then just a basic wood seat with some cushion on it. And up front I have a little cooler slash dry box that I use that's, you know, strapped to the frame, so in case you do tip over, it's not going to go all over the place. The lid will probably come over and go all over the place, but the boat is made by Saturn. It's not a, you know, premium top-end boat. It's kind of a mid-grade boat. It rows very well. It's very nimble. It's not very big. It's only about 4 foot wide by 12 foot long. But so far, I really dig it. It enables me to get out by myself much easier and float the river and fish the other side of the river. And speaking of fishing, I'm on the Deschutes right now. It's about 8 o'clock. I mean, it's a little after 8 o'clock. And I decided to pull over at this nice little sandy spot and get my camera gear ready. Wow, that hatch is going crazy. I'm surprised I'm not seeing fish jumping. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted by all the bugs flying around. Don't know if you can see them in camera or not. I'm gonna work my way down from City Park today, down below Blue Hole to Oak Springs Campground. And I'll probably take out at Oak Springs. That's another advantage of a little boat like this, is I don't necessarily have to use a boat launch. I can pick it up and carry it by myself, especially if I pull the frame off. Most of the weight is in the frame. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on down, and hopefully we find some nice trophy-sized red band, or what I'm really looking for is a Deschutes River steelhead. I would love to get a couple here in August. I've heard they're being caught. Wow, this hatch is going bananas. Oh my God. Hopefully that shows up on camera, but I'm not a super bug guy, so I'm not sure. I mean, they're itty bitty, so I'm guessing blue wing olive. Dang, they're thick. I cannot believe there's not trout going nuts right here where I'm standing. That is very, very surprising. Well, anyways, enough of that. I'm gonna get back in the boat and get heading down the river. Well, I figured before I shoved off, you may not be able to see me. I may be off frame, but I'm way up to the right, past those tree bushes. This has been a pretty good spot for me in the past, so I figured I was gonna just throw a spinner in and work it real quick before I moved on. Just had a take. Felt like a little trout or something. But anywho, working it for spinners for steelhead, kind of what I'm doing. This particular section of water used to be a really good steelhead spot, but with the recent Pelton Dam drama and the mixing tower, it's very algaed out now. I'm not really expecting to get anything here, but I figured I'd give it a shot. The main reason I pulled over was to get the camera gear set up. Here comes that wind. I was worried about that. It said it was supposed to be windy today. And I've been lucky this morning so far. Keep just working down back to the boat, and then push off. And hopefully I can find other sections of the river where it's not terribly windy. And that's also why I brought a spinning rod today. Fishing center pin in the wind is kind of a pain in the butt. It's much easier to fish a spinner rod when it's heavily windy. At least for me. You can fish center pin, I don't enjoy it. So why do it if you don't enjoy it? Is the way I look at it. And I do like throwing spinners and working spoons. So, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the last video. You know, I learned some editing tricks with having 2 sets of footage. being able to do picture-in-picture and stuff, that was pretty fun. It added some time to the editing and whatnot, but oh well. I thought the end product was definitely worth it. I'm gonna work back to the boat. I'll work this pretty good. Just running a basic number 4 Blue Fox, blue and silver is what I'm working. And we'll see if I can't coax anything out of the water. And for those of you that have never worked spinners, you know, it's very simple. You kind of just, in my mind, I kind of grid it out. And then you always want to start close to you, work your way out, and then take a couple steps, whatever direction you're working the river, upriver, downriver. I probably tend to work downriver more often with spinners. And then just keep working the same pattern. Your furthest cast should be the last cast before you work, and just work that swing down. Remember to reel slow. Let that spinner work. Keep the rod tip pointed near the spinner. You gotta work it a little faster here to get over the algae crap. All right, that'll probably be my last one, and then I'll move. Take a couple steps going down. Let that spinner get the depth. And I really love this rod. This is a new rod from TFO this year. They advertise it as a trout panfish rod, but it's absolutely my new Steelhead spinner working rod for sure. It's a lot ultralight. It's 4 to 8 pound. It's an 8-footer, which is perfect. I like that 8-foot length for working spinners. I've caught some nice trout on it. I haven't caught a steelhead on it, and it handled the bigger trout very well. So unless I get one of those giant Idaho B-run steelhead, I'm gonna have no problem with this rod fishing it for steelhead. Let's see, I've got some braid on there. I'm typically not a braid user, but I tried it and it was already on this reel, and this reel fit good on this rod, so might as well use it at least until I wear it out or get tired of it. And I'll switch to some fluorocarbon or monofilament or something. See, a lot of people like braid because it doesn't have any stretch, and like that's one of the reasons why I don't like braid, and I don't like tying knots in it. Tying the knots are a pain in the butt. It's strong and small diameter though. I mean, it's neat stuff. It's just, and I think I'm running it's like 20-pound braid, 8-pound diameter, equivalent to monofilament. And then I step it down. I got about 12 inches of fluorocarbon on there, and I think I'm running, I don't know, 10, 8 or 10. I can't remember what I stepped it down to. Well, no dice. I think I'm going to move on and fish another section. All right, folks, we're off in search of a new spot with a pot of steelhead in it. That's what we're after. Heading down from City Park on the lower Deschutes River. August, it's absolutely beautiful out. The temperature's starting to change, so it's starting to get more steelheady by the day as far as water temperature, daytime temperature. Hopefully we don't get a big end of the year hot spell is what I'm really hoping doesn't happen. But that's how the weather goes. You never know. So I'm working my way down. I'm gonna try to sneak over to this other side and maybe fish some of these shadows if I can find a place to anchor in and get stopped. The lower Deschutes, you're not supposed to fish from the boat unless you have one of the handicap passes, which I do not. So I'm not supposed to fish from a boat, which makes fishing some of these spots difficult. I'm gonna pull over here, get in here kind of close, and see if. And this is good depth and it's good speed. It's in the shadows. It's still early where it's not hot yet, and it's not supposed to get terribly hot today. So that's awesome. See if I can get snuck in here and not break one of my fishing poles with my rod rack off the back. Let's see. What I'm looking for is just the depth. See if I can't drop anchor real quick and then jump out and tie the boat off. But man, it's pretty deep here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it happen. I'm not as nimble as I used to be. But man, it does sure look fishy. There's some boulders and stuff down in there. Let's see if I can get the boat to anchor here as I come in. Even though it's a little boat, the anchor it came with, it really sucks. Let's see if it will hold. I definitely need to find a better anchor. Yeah. Come on, baby. I can't ass in because of my rods. There's really no good spot to put rods in a boat, but I figured off the back like that, they're the most out of the way that they can be. Oh shit, that drops off quick. I don't think this spot's gonna work. It's not gonna happen. Off we go. Probably fart around and knock one of the GoPros out of the boat into the water. Let's not hope that doesn't happen here. All right. Oh, just saw a nice fish jump. Don't know if that. I have one camera pointing at me, so you can see my pretty mug, and then my other GoPro is pointing off the. What's the boat term? Bow? I think it's bow. Bow the front? Yeah, stern's the back, I think. I don't know. I don't have good boat lingo, obviously. All right, is this any better? Can I get in there? Man, I really want to fish this shoulder. Do some forward. It drops off and gets pretty deep here. Still a little chilly in the morning to get too wet. I'm kind of being a sissy, but it's chilly. We're probably getting close to 9 o'clock or so. I had no floating through here. I have floated over fish. It looks really good. Maybe I can get into here. All right. Forward rowing here. Spinning around. All right. How deep is this? Wow. There's nowhere for me to stand. Well, I think I'm going to move on downriver. I really want to fish this shoulder, but I'm running out of it because we're going to go into a little rapid up here, and then I'm gonna fish that tail of this rapid. I guess I'll keep you on camera here. We'll get to that rapid in no time. It's not much of a rapid, probably like a 1 or a 2. I don't know. We are going to go. Here we go. Now, for those of you who have not rowed a lot, I've got a pretty good amount of rowing experience. Drift boats, rafts, little rafts. I learned on a drift boat, not in Whitewater, but in other rivers over in the valley. All my whitewater experience was in a raft and a rubber boat. And the one I downsized from was a 15-footer, an old Vanguard. It was an oar boat, just like this, frame oar boat. It is just too big, for these little like half-day trips that I want to do like this. It was just too much boat. But I went down to this 12-footer, and of course it's almost too small if I decide to take the dogs or the wife with me. But we'll make do. But one thing with these little boats is you really want to not hit anything broadside, because this boat's only, I don't know, 48 inches across. It's pretty narrow. Um, and so it won't take much of a rapid, especially if you got, I'm a big guy, maybe another guy in here, a lot of weight, and it won't take much for you to flip it over. So you really want to make sure and hit all your rapids straight. Kind of what I'm doing here. Gonna hit them straight. You would not want to come to this broadside, even though they're little rapids. Yeah. Whoop. There goes one GoPro. Well, luckily it fell into the boat. Get us. Woo. This is the one I wouldn't want to lose. It's got all my microphones. We're over the rapids here. Ooh, that moved away. I'm going to try to get over to this other side. And there's this tail down over here. I've caught some really nice red bands, and it screams steelhead. But now I kind of got below it a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to row back up to it or not. Try to get over here on the shoulder of the river. And boy, I can't wait for my new oars. The guy I got this boat from had it outfitted pretty good. But he cheaped out on oars and got these little itty bitty ass oars. They're only 7 foot. And it really makes it kind of a pain in the ass to row. Do a lot of rowing and I don't get anywhere. So definitely going to be getting a set of probably 8s here sometime soon. I'm making progress. I can just stay over on this shoulder, stay out of that main current. Dun, dun, dun. Get there eventually. All right, now what am I dealing with here as far as bank? Let's see if I can't get it nosed in there and get her parked. All right, drop anchor. See if that's gonna hold my bootay. And where's that other GoPro? All right, we'll catch you up here in a bit. Here, and of course I wasn't coordinated enough. Didn't have the camera going, but he just plowed that blue fox. And when he hit it initially, I thought it might be a steelhead. But it was not a steelhead, but a very nice red band. So 1 on the scorecard today. We're gonna keep working down through here. The water feels good on my skin. The temperature is still good. It's nice and cool. So that's pretty good. When it starts feeling like bathtub water, we're in trouble. See if I can't get a spinner take here. Man, I can't believe how that thing plowed it. That's one thing that's fun about spinner fishing, uh, is when they take it, man, it's a very aggressive thwack. Or the float fishing, the takes are much more subtle. Sometimes they plow it, but not usually. So I'm going to cast way out and try to get into that rapid. And there's a spot down below me here that's really bouldery that I've caught some really nice fish. So I'm going to put it out there and let it sink and get the depth. And then I'm going to let it swing down. And then I'll bring it back to me on a real nice slow retrieve. Then I'll work this for a little bit and then I'll try my float rod. Although the wind's really picked up, I might just be spinner fishing today. We'll see. I was a boulder, but that's a good sign. That means I'm down deep. Nice slow retrieve. I'm curious as how that footage is going to turn out with the boat bobbing around. All right, well, no dice on that guy. Let's just go a little bit closer. I'll let some line out. Because where I want to fish is just kind of right down below me here. Slow retrieve. The longer that spinner's in the water, the longer you're fishing. And lots of times, even big fish, they'll hit it. They won't hit it until it's clear over here on the shoulder. And when you're reeling up on the shoulder and you think you're done fishing, and that's when they take it. That's happened to me a lot. They might see it out there in some of the deep troughs, but they stalk it and stalk it and stalk it. Then they feel like maybe they're going to lose it or something. And they wait till, sometimes the last moment. I've had to take them spinners, a rod length away from me. All right, well, I think it's time to turn the camera off and switch rods. And this is really nasty getting around here. It's very bouldery and the boulders are very slick. All right, if I can get to my remote, then I can turn the camera off and go from there. There we go. He's sitting out in the middle there. Getting ready for another run, another run, another run. Oh boy. He's coming in. Head shake, head shake. Just hooked a steelhead. All right, just making sure it's recording. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to land him. He's coming in. Oh yeah, he's beautiful. He is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, well here's where I'm at. Caught a steelhead. Luckily it was a hatchery steelhead. He swallowed the blue fox pretty good and it ended up dying. So I'm gonna go ahead and elect to keep that one. I don't normally keep anything unless something like this happens, but I am ill prepared for storing a fish. So I'm gonna row as fast as I can to get back to the truck and get it on ice. I don't want it to spoil. That'd be pretty wasteful. So I'm rowing down, gonna try to get it back to the truck as fast as I can. I do have it in a cooler with river water, so I've got some time, and it's not supposed to get super hot today. But I'm gonna bag the rest of the fishing trip, just because I want to not waste this fish. It's more important to me to not waste it, since it unfortunately got hooked in that lower gill, kind of where the tongue is, and got a puncture in that gill, and unfortunately was not going to recuperate or come back. So he'll at least you know, be able to provide some fresh steelhead for us, me and my wife. So I'm gonna row as fast as I can, and it turns out this DJI stuff must be fairly waterproof, because I've gotten all my camera gear pretty wet today. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just completely wet, getting through some of the bigger rapids upriver, but I'm gonna keep heading down river, get to the truck. I'm probably gonna throw all my stuff in the truck, leave the boat there, and run into town and make sure and get that fish on ice. Definitely do not want to waste the fish. And those rapids ended up being way rougher than I thought. Still getting used to this little boat. I'm definitely going to need to get like a solid frame mount for my GoPro. Just having them sit on the cooler is not going to work. I almost bounced this off into the water. And that would have sucked. All right, well, I guess I'll turn you off. I'll maybe touch back with you when I get to the truck, and go from there. And no, anybody who asks, who wants to know where I caught that, I caught it on the lower Deschutes. I'm not giving you details. I give you details about trout fishing, where and when, and what I'm using. Steelhead's a different thing. I'm not telling you where I caught it. So, but some of you who have paid attention to the video know that I'm floating from City Park to Oak Springs Campground. So that means I caught it somewhere in between there. Alrighty, well, we'll catch you here in a bit. I'm gonna keep rowing as fast as I can to get to the truck and get my gear thrown in and get to town and get ice. Well, it's an exciting midday little adventure I had. Set out to hunt for some steelhead, caught some nice, beautiful trout, and then wham, a nice, beautiful steelhead. And then the craziness began. You know, unfortunately, it got hooked in the lower portion of its mouth and that gill underneath its tongue, and it bled out. It wasn't going to live. Luckily, it was a hatchery, so I could keep it and not have it go completely to waste. And once that happened, I'm out in the river with no ice and a fish. And fish, as we all know, can spoil incredibly quickly. And so I row like a madman back down to where my truck is at, throw my rods, tackle everything in the back of the truck, and run to town to get some ice in the cooler. I had river water in it, which is pretty cold, which had bought me, some time to do it. But as I'm loading, I just got loaded, I can definitely tell it's warm. And if I had lollygagged, that fish probably would have spoiled, and it would have been a complete total waste. So super ecstatic, awesome August day. I'm gonna run home and unload the truck. Gotta swing by the store and do some business stuff before I get home. And then gonna fillet me out some steelhead and have a fresh Deschutes River steelhead dinner. Until next time, as always, get on the river somewhere and make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. I'd like to get to 200 subscribers by end of the summer. So I've got August and September. So I'm gonna hope to hit that 200 subscriber mark. And hopefully this video helps, because that was a beautiful fish on a beautiful river. Can't be much happier about that. I guess if I caught another couple, but it was all my mind all set ready to preserve that fish and not have it spoiled. So I bagged the rest of the fish. Until next time, like and subscribe. Thanks.